Well, Lindsay, I've got a guest here who can answer that question. It's Fabrice Seiman, who is from Lutetia Capital. He runs an equities fund. Fabrice, Lindsay, Janice, our anchor, they're just asking the question, a victory by François Hollande, the socialist, a lot of investors particularly worried about what that might mean for the markets.
I don't think it's going to change a lot because, France belongs to the European Union. We have a framework of rules we have to apply. And whoever the next president is going to be, he's going to have to apply the same framework. And the targets between the two candidates to reach the level of deficits that are sustainable are pretty much the same. Obviously, the size and the score that the left wing, the radical left wing, is going to make next Sunday is obviously going to play a big role in the policies that are going to be put in place if François Hollande is elected president.
Right, so what you're saying is that we see Hollande is elected, then you've got that left-wing candidate, Mélenchon, Jean-Luc Mélenchon. You're not too concerned that he's going to pull Monsieur Hollande's policies to the left, even if Monsieur Hollande is somewhat reliant on the votes that'll come from that left front? I'm
saying that whoever the next president is going to be, he will have a very small room of maneuver. And it's true in France, it's true in the UK, it's true in Germany. We have to apply those rules. So at some point, if you have a certain target to reach, there are not 20 methods to reach it. So obviously a big unknown is going to be the score of Jean-Luc Mélenchon and how much it is going to influence Hollande's policies.
How do you account for that widening of the spreads that we're seeing between German bond yields and French bond yields? I think this morning they've widened out to the widest since January the 9th.
Well, it's quite normal that the spread between France and Germany is widening because simply French situation is not the German situation. However, I have to point out that the level at which French state is still borrowing on the market is very low if you compare it to other countries like obviously Italy and Spain. So we are obviously, even if the spread is narrowing, is widening, we are still at very low levels for France.
What about in terms of monetary policy in the European Central Bank? Because Jean-Luc Mélenchon, he's talking about wanting the central bank to actually cut interest rates. He's discussing adding a growth mandate to the ECB's mandate, which at the moment is just one of price stability. He's really talking the talk which would be engendering the independence of the central bank. How much of a risk is that? And what about the risk for Franco-German relations?
Well, I think that France is not the only one to decide the fate of the European Central Bank. So Germans are very attached to a certain set of principles. It is the case for Germany. It's the case also for other European Union countries. So France itself cannot set up the policies that the ECB is going to obviously put in place, even though obviously France is a big country, so it has a voice. But I believe that at the end of the day, the independence of the central bank is key, and that should be maintained at all costs.
Well, another issue that a lot of people are looking at, this is Hollande's call, I should say, for to reopen up the fiscal compact, which enshrines budgetary discipline and also added growth addendum. Now, how concerned should we be that we're going to have a situation where we're going to go into another negotiation of a rather difficult fiscal compact?
Well, I don't think that the fiscal compact is going to be renegotiated. I think that there are going to be some maybe cosmetic addendums that are going to take place just probably to satisfy the new French president. Again, if it's François Hollande, and obviously the odds are not, obviously they are in favor of François Hollande right now, but the battle is not fought yet. We'll have the answer in 2 weeks, but at the end of the day, I think that the general framework is not going to be modified, even if François Hollande is elected.
Fabrice, thank you very much. Fabrice Seiman from Lutetia Capital here in Paris, and the word is that perhaps we shouldn't be too worried in terms of the market reaction to a victory for François Hollande. Perhaps we'll see some modification of some of the policies he's expounding at the moment. Guys, back to you, Lindsay.